Hello, hello, YouTube. Hello. We are on week 4, day 2, Exodus 22 through 25. There we go. Hello, hello. We're live, hello. My doggy's trying to eat my stuff. Hello. As you're hopping on live, say hi. And good morning, Mom. My toesies are cold. I don't have socks on this morning. Goodness. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We've made it to Tuesday. And I realized I forgot to put up my trash. So I guess I get to do that a little bit. Did you all have a good Monday? My Monday was very productive. I was able to get a lot done at work. A lot of other things done. Helped my aunt get a car and all sorts of things. So it's really exciting. It was a really exciting, fruitful day. And then in the evening, I got to spend some intentional time alone with God and ended my day. It was a good day. So I was able to just spend some time with my husband too, and really got to have some good conversations, which is always a good thing. So we are in Exodus 22. I'm going to pray and then we're going to get started. So sorry, I'm getting so sidetracked. I've got this doggy here, this doggy here. All the many things are just so sensory. Anyways, Heavenly Father, I just thank you for today, Lord. I thank you for waking us up to see another day, that we get to just bask in your presence and in your glory, God. Father, I ask that you just bestow your peace upon us, Lord, that we look to you and hear, see, accept, and acknowledge you in such a mighty way. That as we go about our day today and the rest of the week, that we seek you more diligently and we just obey quicker and walk in that obedience that glorifies and honors your name, Father. So we read your word this morning. Open our hearts to receive what it is you have for us, our eyes to see it clearly, and our ears to hear it. And I pray this all in your precious and holy name. Amen. Amen. All righty. Exodus 22. Wait, no. Oh, no, we read Exodus. Wait, what are we? Yeah. Exodus 23 to 25. Goodness. I guess I need to get out. All right. Exodus 22 through 25. Here we go. If someone steals an ox or lamb and slaughters or sells it, the thief must pay 5 cattle in place of the ox and 4 sheep in place of the lamb. If the thief is caught while breaking in and is hit hard and dies, there is no blood guilt. But if it happens to be after daybreak, there is blood guilt. A thief must make full restitution for what is stolen. The thief who is unable to pay is to be sold for his thieving. If caught red-handed with the stolen goods, the ox or donkey or lamb is still alive and the thief pays double. If someone grazes livestock in the field or vineyard, but lets them loose so they graze in someone else's field, restitution must be made from the best of its owner's field or vineyard. If the fire breaks out and spreads to the bush so that the sheaves of grain or the standing grain or even the whole field is burned up, whoever started the fire must pay for the damages. If someone gives a neighbor money or things for safekeeping and they are stolen from the neighbor's house, the thief, if caught, must pay back double. If the thief is not caught, the owner must be brought before God to determine whether the owner was the one who took the neighbor's goods. In all cases of stolen goods, whether oxen, donkeys, sheep, clothing, anything in fact is missing of some which someone says, that's mine, both parties must come before the judges. The one the judge pronounces guilty must pay double to the other. If someone gives a donkey or ox or lamb or any kind of animal to another for safekeeping and it dies, is injured or lost, and there is no witnesses, an oath before God must be made between them to decide whether one has laid hands on the property of the other. The owner must accept this and no damages are assessed. But if it turns out it was stolen, the owner must be compensated. If it has been torn by the wild beast, the torn animal must be brought in as evidence. No damages have to be paid. If someone borrows an animal from a neighbor and it gets injured or dies while the owner is not present, he must pay for it. But if the owner was with it, he does have to pay. If the animal was hired, the payment covers the loss. If an animal seduces a virgin who is not engaged to be married and sleeps with her, he must pay the marriage price and marry her. If the father absolutely refuses to give her away, the man must still pay the marriage price for virgins. Don't let the sorceress live. Anyone who has sex with an animal gets the death penalty. Anyone who sacrifices to God other than God alone must be put to death. Don't abuse or take advantage of strangers. You remember you were once strangers in Egypt. Don't mistreat widows or orphans. If you do, they cry out to me. You can be sure I'll make them more seriously. I'll show my anger and come raging among you with the sword and your wives. It will end up widows on your children's orphans. If you lend money to my people, to any of the down and out among you, won't come down hard on them and gouge them with interest. If you take your neighbor's coat as security, give back before nightfall. It may be your neighbor's only covering. What else does a person have to sleep in? And if I hear the neighbor crying out from the cold, I'll step in, but I'm compassionate. Don't curse God and don't damn your leaders. Don't be stingy as your wine vats fill up. Dedicate your firstborn son to me, and the same with your cattle and sheep. They are to stay for 7 days with their mother, then give them to me. Be holy for my sake. Don't eat mutilated flesh you find in the fields. Throw it to the dogs. Don't pass on the malicious gossip. Don't link up with the wicked person and give corrupt testimony. Don't go along with the crowd and doing evil, and don't fudge your testimony in a case just to please the crowd. And don't just because someone is poor, don't show favoritism in a dispute. If you find your enemy's oxen or donkey loose, take it back to him. If you see the donkey of someone who hates you lying helpless under its load, Don't walk off and leave it. Help it up. When there is a dispute concerning your poor, don't tamper with the justice due. Stay clear of false accusations. Don't contribute to the death of the innocent and good people. I don't let the wicked off the hook. Don't take bribes. Bribes blind perfectly good eyes and twist the speech of good people. Don't take advantage of a stranger. You know what it's like to be a stranger. You were strangers in Egypt. Sow your land for 6 years and gather in its crops. But in the 7th year, leave it alone and give it to a rest, so that your poor many eat from it. So that your poor may eat from it. What if they leave? Let the wildlife have. Do the same with your vineyards and olive groves. Work for 6 days and rest for 7th, so your ox and donkey may rest, and your servant migrant workers may have time to get their needed rest. Listen carefully to everything I tell you. Don't pay attention to other gods. Don't so much as mention their names. 3 times a year you are to hold a festival for me, holding the spring festival of unraised bread, when you eat unraised bread for 7 days at the time set for the month of Abib, as I commanded you. That was the month you came out of Egypt. No one should show up before me empty-handed. Hold the summer festival of harvest when you bring in the first fruits of all your work in the fields. Hold the autumn festival in gathering at the end of the season when you bring your first crops. 3 times a year, all of your males are to appear before the Master God. Don't offer a blood of sacrifice to me with anything that has yeast in it. Don't leave the fat from the festival offering out overnight. Bring the choice first produce of the year at the house of your God. Don't boil a kid in its mother's milk. Now get yourselves ready. I'm sending out my angel ahead of you to guard you in your travels, to lead you in the place that I've prepared. Pay close attention to him, obey him, don't go against him. He won't put up with your rebellions because he's acting on my authority. But if you obey him and do everything I tell you, I'll be an enemy to your enemies. I'll fight those who fight you. When my angel goes ahead of you and leads you to the land of Amoriti, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, I'll clear the country of them. So don't worship or serve their gods. Don't do anything they do, because I'm going to wipe them right off the face of the earth and smash their sacred phallic pillars to bits. But you serve your God, and he'll bless your food and your water. I'll get rid of the sickness among you. There won't be any miscarriages nor barren women in your land. I'll make sure you live full and complete lives. I'll send my terror on ahead of you and throw those people you're approaching into a panic. All you'll see of your enemies is the back of their necks, and I'll send a spear on ahead of you. It will push the Hivites, the Canaanites, the Hittites out of your way. I won't get rid of them all at once, lest in the land grow up in the weeds and the wild animals take over. Little by little, I'll get them out of there while you have the chance to get your crops going and make your own land. And I will make your borders stretch from the Red Sea to the Meridian Sea, from the wilderness to the Euphrates River, and turn down every one living in the land over you, and go ahead and drive them out. Don't make any deals with them or their gods. They are not staying in the same country with you unless they get they get you to sin by worshiping their gods. Beware, it's a huge danger. 24. He said to Moses, climb to the mountain to God, you and Aaron, Nadab, Ashu, and the 70 elders of Israel. They will worship me and from a distance. Only Moses will approach God. The rest are not to come close. And the people are to climb to the mountain of all. So Moses went to the people and told them everything God had said, and all the rules and regulations, and all the answers in the unions. It all answered in unison. Everything God said will do. Then Moses wrote it all down, everything God had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain, using 12 pillar stones for the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he directed young Israelite men to offer whole burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of bulls. Moses took half the blood and put it in the bowls, and the other half he threw against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it as the people listened. They said, everything God said will do. Yes, we'll obey. Moses then took the rest of the blood and threw it over the people, saying, this is the blood of the covenant which God has made with you, and all these words I have spoken. Then they climbed the mountain, Moses and Aaron, Abu, and 70 elders of Israel, and saw the God of Israel. He was standing on a pavement of something like sapphires, pure, clear blue sky. He didn't hurt these pillar leaders of the Israelites. They saw God and they ate and drank. God said to Moses, climb higher up the mountain and wait for me there. I'll give you tablets of stone stone, the teachings and commandments I have written and instructed, and I've written to instruct them. So Moses got up and accompanied by Joshua, his aide, and Moses climbed up the mountain. He told the elders of Israel, wait for us here until we turn to you. You have Aaron and Hur with you. And if there are any problems, go to them. Then Moses climbed the mountain, the cloud-covered mountain. The glory of God settled over Mount Sinai. The cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the 7th day, he called out to the cloud or to Moses. In the view of Israelites below, the glory of God looked into a raging fire at the top of the mountain. Moses entered the middle of the cloud and climbed up the mountain. Moses was on top of the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Chapter 25. God spoke to Moses, tell the Israelites that they are to set aside offerings for me. Receive the offerings from everyone who is willing to give. These are the offerings I want you to receive from them: gold, silver, bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet material, fine linens, goat's hair, tanned ram skins, dolphin skins, Arcadia wood, lamp oil, spices for the anointing oils and the fragrant incense, oxen stones and other stones for setting in the ephod and the breastpiece. Let them construct a sanctuary for me so that I can live among them. You are to conduct it in the following plans I have given you: the design of the dwelling and the design of its furnishings. First, let me make a chest using Arcadia wood. Make it 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet deep. Cover it with a veneer of pure gold inside and out, making a molding of gold all around it. Cast 4 gold rings and attach them to its 4 feet. 2 of the rings on one side and 2 of the rings on the other. Make poles from the Arcadia wood to cover them with the veneer of gold, and insert them into the rings on the sides of the chest, carrying the chest. The poles are to stay in the rings. They are not to be removed. Place the testimony that I give you in the chest. Now make a lid of pure gold for the chest, an acetone cover, 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide. Sculpt 2 winged angels out of hammered gold for either end of the atonement covering. 1 angel at one end, 1 angel at the other end. Make them of one piece with the atonement cover. Make the angels with their wings spread, hovering over the atonement cover, facing one another but looking down on it. Set the atonement cover as a lid over the chest and place the chest, the testimony that I will give you. I will meet you there at set times and speak with you from the atonement cover and from between the angel figures that are on it, speaking the commandments that I have for the Israelites. Next to the table from acacia wood, make it 3 feet long, 1 1/2 feet wide, 2 1/4 feet high. Cover it with veneer pure gold. Make it a molding around it of gold. Make a border a hand breadth wide all around it, rimmed with gold for the border. Make 4 rings of gold and attach the rings of the 4 leg parallel to the tabletop. They will serve as holders for the poles used to carry the table. Make the poles of the Arcadia wood and cover them with veneer gold. They are to be used to carry the table. Many plates, bowls, jars, jugs for pouring out offerings. Make them of pure gold. Always keep fresh bread in the presence of the table before me. The lampstand of pure hammered gold. Make it its stem and branches, cups, calyxes, and petals, all of one piece. Give the 6 branches, 3 from one side and 3 from the other. Put the 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, which with calyx and petals on one branch, 3 on the next, and so on. They came from all 6 branches. On the main stem of the lampstand, make 4 cups shaped like almonds and calyx petals, and calyx extending from underneath each of the 6 branches. The entire lampstand fashioned from one piece of hammered pure gold. Make 7 of these lamps for the table. Arrange the lamps so they throw their light out in front. Make the candle stuffers and trays out of pure gold. Use 75-pound bricks of pure gold to make the lampstands and its accessories. Study the design you were given on the mountain and make everything accordingly. And that's the end of chapter 25. Tomorrow we pick up chapter 26 through 29. Continue to be thinking about your faith in action and praying fervently for someone you know who is going through a difficult season, and make sure that you're doing your five gratitudes. What are you grateful for? So what are 5 things you're grateful for this morning? For me, I'm grateful for waking up to see another day. I'm grateful for my husband and always thinking of me. I'm grateful for the ability to have a house and food in my belly, and the ability to be able to bring life into this world in different ways other than my womb. And I'm grateful for just the opportunity to minister to others. So those are my 5 great gratitudes today. And I'm sure I could continue to go on. So I challenge you to list at least one thing you're grateful for in the chat. Much love and many blessings, sweet friends. I am off to work, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.